Hello everybody, and welcome to my very first tutorial video. In this video I'll be teaching you guys how to drive stick shift. I've been practicing stick shift not too long now. I've been at it for almost a week, and I think I'm at the point now where I can teach you guys just the basics, the mechanics of it, and just give you guys literally my opinion of learning how to drive stick shift. Now, before I get started with this tutorial video, I just want to give a heads up out there that this video is for beginners only. This is a tutorial video for people who have not driven a stick shift before, who have no experience driving a stick shift, but they want to learn how to drive a stick shift. So if you have experience in driving a stick shift, if you know how to drive a stick shift, if you've driven a stick shift before, this is not the tutorial video for you. This is, like I said, going to be a basic tutorial video on how to drive stick shift for beginners who want to learn but have no experience in driving stick shift. Next thing on the bucket list that I want to mention is, in this tutorial video I'll be showing you the basics. So first I'll be showing you how the pedals, I'll be showing you the gears, how they work. I'll be showing you how to start the car, how to stop, how to reverse, what you should do if your car stalls, and how to get started on the road a little bit faster. And I'll also teach you guys a little bit of clutch control, reverse, and shifting, which is the fun part, and parking. Okay. When I teach you guys how to shift, because we're in a residential area, we cannot go too fast. The highest gear we can go up to in the residential area is about second gear. So I'll be teaching you guys how to upshift into second gear, because we're in a residential area and we cannot go that fast. Downshifting, hill starts, that's going to be a separate video, number one. And number two, with downshifting and hill starts, I'm still practicing that myself. So I will make a separate video once I get the hang of it. But for now, it's just going to be the pure basics of stick shift, learning to drive stick shift. Next I want to mention is, so why stick shift? What's the difference between stick shift and automatic? Well, stick shift is basically you are changing the gears on your own manually. Okay, automatic, you don't have to. All you do is just put your foot on the gas, hold the wheel steady, and drive. All right, the transmission is changing the gears for you. Hence the term automatics. Okay, with the stick shift, I find it more fun. All right, I'm pretty sure you guys will hear people say that, but once you learn how to drive a stick shift, it will be fun. All right, but the thing is, guys, you have to practice. Okay, one of the crucial things that I'm going to show you guys in this video is how to get started from a still point. That's the point, or that's the most crucial part, where you guys have to practice if you guys want to get good at it. All right, you're not going to get good at it if you don't practice. I'm going to stress out a lot in this video when it comes to practicing these techniques. Yeah, so for me, like, in my opinion, why, I grew up, when I started learning how to drive, I learned on an automatic transmission, like most people. Like the majority of people here in North America, I learned how to drive on an automatic transmission. But, when it came time for me to get my own vehicle, I said, you know what, let's take it one up a notch and go for the stick shift. It's a good skill to learn, and in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with it. And, if I can be that guy that knows how to drive automatic and stick shift, well and good. It works to my benefit. But yeah, so with stick shift, it's going to take practice, guys. It's a little bit different than automatic, but like I said, you just need to work on the techniques, and you just need to work on the practicing, and eventually it will come to you naturally without a shadow of a doubt. But if you guys, like I said, if you don't practice, you're not gonna get good at it. Excuse me. Yeah. So how for me, when I learned how to drive stick shift, transitioning from automatic to stick shift, it was quite different because all these years I've been driving an automatic and my left foot has been left idle. But now when I transition to the stick shift, it's like, okay, you know what? I have to train my left foot now to work the clutch. And in the beginning, it was hard. Yes, I did stall a couple of times. I remember when I first got this car, not too far from this neighborhood, I stalled in the middle of a two-way street, and I kept stalling, and before I knew it, I was blocking traffic. I was blocking traffic left and right, and cars honking at me, and they were, people just getting pissed off, and but that's for me, I mean, it's the whole learning process. When you guys learn how to drive stick shift, let me just get this out there right now. The first time you guys learn how to drive stick shift, you guys will stall. It's inevitable, okay? You guys will stall. But like I said, it's all part of the learning process. Don't freak out. If you guys stall, just try again, all right? It'll come to you eventually. So, I mean, for me, how I learned is, in the beginning, I had to go on, I actually went on YouTube to get a good idea of how the stick shift worked. And then I remember when I got my car, my dad had to invite his buddy to come along to bring the car back home in one piece, because I had no experience driving stick shift. So, even though I was a passenger in my own vehicle, I mean, at least I brought the car home in one piece. And I remember learning a little bit from my dad's buddy. And then after going around the block on that day, I realized, what, I gotta do more practice. I gotta take at least a few more lessons. And I have family members that know how to drive stick shift, but it's hard to get in contact with them, especially with their busy schedule. So how I learned is I had to take lessons from a one-on-one driving instructor that teaches how to drive stick shift. And it was a 2-hour lesson. The price was reasonable, and I learned after I took I took the 2-hour lesson. I learned a lot, and I feel more confident in driving stick shift. And I hope that I can do it with you guys today. Like I said, the goal of this video is to help one person at least out there who is trying to learn how to drive stick shift. Like, if this video can help at least one person, if one person can find this video really helpful in starting to learn how to drive stick shift, it would make my day completely. Honestly, guys, it would. I just, this video, I don't really care about the views. I don't really care about the likes or the dislikes, the comments. I just want this video to motivate and help somebody out there who's trying to learn how to drive stick shift. That would mean the world to me if I can accomplish just that one goal. All right, now let's get on with the tutorial video. Now, most people, as you know, they drive automatic transmission. Why? Because they just simply find it easier. Not many people drive stick shifts anymore. I mean, it's a dying breed. It's a lost art. I think one of the reasons why people don't drive stick shifts as much is because they're scared of stalling, and because of that extra pedal that scares them. But like I said, it's all part of the learning experience. So with that being said, I'm going to teach you guys how to drive stick shift right now. So first of all, when you sit in a stick shift vehicle, you guys have to know the first thing, which is the pedals. Okay, so the pedals, let me just move my seat back a little bit. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. Just let me position the camera here. I don't know if you guys can see that. But when you guys first sit in a stick shift vehicle, you're going to notice, you're going to notice that you have 3 pedals instead of the regular 2. Okay, now what is this third pedal right here? What is that pedal? That, ladies and gentlemen, that is the clutch pedal. Okay? That pedal is going to be used majority of the time when you are driving stick shift. Alright? That is used, this clutch pedal is used for a number of things, such as starting the vehicle, shifting gears, when you're going in reverse. Okay? So just a couple of examples of what the clutch pedal is used for. Okay? Now, beside the clutch pedal here, that's your brake, and right here is your gas. Okay? The brake and the gas is located in the same position as in an automatic. Okay? So in an automatic, how in an automatic you guys will have your gas and your brake. It's the same thing. It's located in the same position. So once again, this is your clutch, this is your brake, and this is your gas. Okay? Your left foot will be used to operate the clutch only, whereas your right foot will be used to operate the gas and the brake. Okay? One of the common mistakes that people do when they first start out is they use their right foot to operate the clutch. And it's understandable because all these years you've been driving automatic, your left foot is idle, and you're so used to that. But when you step into a stick shift vehicle, the thing you have to keep in mind is you're not only using one foot now, you're using both your feet. Okay? So once again, this is your clutch, this is your brake, this is your gas. Okay? Now this little pedal here is called your dead pedal right here. Okay? That is for something that is not a pedal. You just put your foot on there to rest your foot if you're not shifting gear. Okay? Anytime you're driving, you're not shifting gear, you're going to be resting your foot here. It's not going to be anywhere near the clutch or the brake. Okay? So that is the pedals. Okay? So once again, your clutch, your brake, your gas. Okay? By the way, I'm sitting in my 2018 Subaru WRX. Okay, just so you know. So that is the car that I'll be teaching you guys how to drive stick shift in today. Now, let's move on to the next thing, which is the e-brake. Okay? So if you come over here, this is your e-brake. Okay? Now, in a manual transmission, we don't have a parking gear. So we use the e-brake to park the car, to hold the car in position. Okay? Now, when I show you guys how to park later on in this video, I will show you guys a way to park with the e-brake and using the gear shifter. Because when you learn how to drive stick shift, that is the one thing you guys are going to have to learn. Okay, so this is the e-brake. This holds your car in position. Because there's no parking gear, this holds your car in position. That's what we use. This is the e-brake. Okay, so let me just pull my seat up a little bit further. Now guys, remember, when you're driving stick shift, my recommendation is push your seat up as close as possible so that your left foot can go all the way down on the clutch. Okay, because you don't want to you don't want to go down on the clutch. When you go down on the clutch, you want to push it down all the way. Okay, you don't want to be like halfway or a quarter way. So my suggestion is, when you guys learn how to drive stick shift, push your seat up as close to the steering wheel as possible and make sure that your left foot can go all the way down fully on the clutch. So just give me a second. Let me just push up my seat and we're gonna okay. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is the gear shifter. Okay, now the gear shifter is what you're going to be used to change gears. Okay, that's why it's called a manual transmission, because you have to change gears on your own. Okay, now the gear shifter in this car, you have 6 gears. Some cars you have 4 gears, 5 gears. The most common ones, 6 gears, such as this one. and then you have cars now that I have coming in 7 gears and 8 gears. 8 speed, I don't have a good example of that, but a good example of a 7 speed would be the Chevrolet Corvette. Okay, that would have come in 7 speed, but this is a 6 speed. All right, and I don't know if you guys can see clearly. You have I don't know if you guys can see this really clearly, but you have 6 gears labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have R, obviously is for reverse, and you also have your neutral. Now the first thing you guys want to know is, where is neutral? I don't see a N for neutral like in an automatic, which you're right, you know, there is no N in automatic. There is no N, sorry, in a manual transmission like there is in an automatic. So how do you know which one is neutral? Now, neutral is going to be right down the middle. That is neutral. Okay? If I can move it like this, freely, side to side, that's neutral. But if I were to put it in gear, okay, I cannot move it side to side because it's in gear. But if I'm in neutral, I can do exactly just that. Move it side to side. Okay? So that is neutral. Now, next thing I want to mention is, let's go over the gears now. Okay? So, with the manual transmission, there's a simple H pattern that you follow. Alright? And basically what it is right now you're on neutral. Okay? And to go from first gear to neutral, or from neutral to first gear, you would go to the left and up. That will be first gear. Okay? Second gear would be straight diagonally down, and that is second gear. Third gear would be diagonally and straight up. Okay? Now, if you guys were to switch from second gear to third gear, you guys would hold it like this, and some people I know, they would hold it like this and then go up like that to third gear. But my suggestion is, don't do that. Okay, my suggestion is hold it with your palm and just push it up. Because what happens is, if you hold it like this and then if you were to go up to third gear, you know, chances are it's not going to click in, and then you'll be in neutral, or you'll end up in like fifth gear. Okay, so from second gear, right now we're on second gear, you want to go to third, so just take your palm and just push it up like that, straight up, and you will be in third. Okay, now from third gear to fourth gear, you gotta do the same thing. Make sure it clicks, because if it doesn't click, you're gonna go to neutral, because neutral is right in between third and fourth. Okay, so from third to fourth gear, all you gotta do is go straight down, and that's fourth gear. Okay, fifth gear, same thing, just take your palm, go like that. Okay, I think third, fourth, and fifth, I think they're really close, if I'm not mistaken. And then sixth gear is like this. Okay, so once again, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay, sixth. My bad. All right, all right. Sometimes, you know, it's hard for it to click in. So once again, I'm going to show you guys. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay, and that will be your 6 gears. And then reverse, I'll show you guys how to operate reverse later on. Okay, so now that I showed you guys the pedals, I showed you guys how the gear shifter works, I showed you guys the parking brake, now it's time to start the car. Okay, now how do you start the car? Okay, in automatic, you would put the key in, or you would just push the start button to start the vehicle. Now, in a manual transmission, you got to push in the clutch. Your car will not start if you don't push in that clutch. Okay, you have to push in the clutch all the way and start the car with your foot all the way down on your clutch. It's not going to start if you don't push it down all the way. Okay, so I don't have a push start button. I have a key. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to start the vehicle, and I hope you guys can see what my feet are doing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to push to start the car. I want to push in my clutch all the way down. I'm just going to keep my foot on the brake. Okay, and I'm going to take my little key and I'm going to start it up. Okay, now that my car is started, now you notice, guys, that after I started the car, my left foot did not come off the clutch. Why is that? Because I'm in first gear. Okay, if my left foot were to come off that clutch and I'm in first gear, my car is going to stall. Okay, that's why I did not move my left foot right away. So my suggestion to you guys is make it a habit. Anytime you guys start the vehicle, have a look at your gear shifter. Don't take your foot off the clutch right away. Just have a look at your gear shift. Make sure you're in neutral. If you're not in neutral, your foot does not come off the clutch. Okay, because if it does, your car will stall. Okay, so because now I'm in first gear, my foot does not come off the clutch. But because I started the car, and let's say now I want to put I want to take my foot off the clutch. Okay, so let's say I want to take my foot off the clutch. I have to first take it off gear first, put it in neutral, and now that it's in neutral, I can just take my foot off the clutch, and as you can see, my car is still running. Okay, and as you can see, I'm in neutral, and we're not moving anywhere because we got my e-brake up. Okay, so never ever take your foot off the clutch while you're in first gear. Okay, if you're in first gear, if your car is at a still point and you're in first gear, never take your foot off the clutch completely because your car will stall. Okay, now a good safety measure is if I'm sitting idle like this in neutral, okay, even though I have my e-brake up, I would put my foot on the brake just as a safety measure. It doesn't hurt, guys, to do some to be safe. All right, so just in case the parking brake were to fail and I roll back. Okay, even though I know I'm not going to roll back because I'm on a flat surface. All right, but so that's how you guys start the vehicle. So step one, you're going to clutch in. Okay, foot on the brake, clutch in, start the vehicle. Okay, and then after you start the vehicle, you're not going to take your foot off the clutch right away. You're going to look at your gear shifter, okay, to see if you're in first gear or in neutral. If you're in first gear, your foot does not come off the clutch. Okay, you got to put it in neutral before you take your foot off the clutch. If you are already in neutral, then your foot can come off the clutch. Okay, but it's good to be safe than sorry. All right, so, and again, if you guys are just sitting idle like this in neutral, even though you have the parking brake up, keep your foot on the brake just for extra safety precaution. Okay, so now, guys, I'm going to show you guys how to get the car moving. Okay, now you started your car. I'm going to show you guys how to get the car moving, and this is the hardest part of driving stick shift. Okay, this is the most crucial part that you have to practice. Okay, now I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, obviously I'm going to show you guys my foot movement, what my feet are doing. So I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to show you guys the foot movement of how it's done. Okay, now when you guys get the car rolling, one of the common mistakes that people make is they let go of the clutch too fast, or they don't give it enough gas. Okay, those are the two things that two mistakes that people make that will cause the car to either stall or lunge forward. You know how when the car lunges forward, you'll feel that jerky movement. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys the way that my driving instructor taught me how to get the car rolling. Okay, this is all right. There are many different methods on how you can get the car rolling. You know, some people will say, you know, let off the clutch slowly, give it gas, or give it gas and let off the clutch slowly, or, you know, rev it up to about 1500 RPM, then, you know, let off the clutch slowly and give it gas. Some people say, you know, get the clutch out 3/4 of a way, then start giving it gas. Some people, you know, they'll say, you know, just let off the clutch slowly all the way, and then until it starts rolling on its own, and then add a little throttle. So there are very different ways of doing it, but the way I'm going to show you is, like I said, the way I learned from my driving instructor, and this is a way that I hope I know for some people it will be easier, some people it will be harder, but nonetheless, I'm going to show you. This is the way I'm going to show you guys. This technique I'm going to show you guys. Now, it doesn't matter what technique you use. Honestly speaking, it doesn't matter what technique you use to get the car rolling. The key thing you guys have to remember is let off the clutch slowly. Okay. What people tend to do is they tend to release the clutch slowly till the engagement point, and then once they reach the engagement point, they just let off the clutch really fast, and then the car stalls. You don't want to do that. Okay, you want your foot to come off the clutch slowly all the way from beginning to end. Okay, at the same time you're giving it throttle, so that you will have a smooth takeoff. Okay, now the first thing you have to do, okay, don't even get to shifting yet. First thing you want to get to do is you want to have to practice finding that engagement point. Now, what is the engagement point? The engagement point is the part where you release the clutch really slow, and you will feel the car start to roll. Okay, when you feel that, that's when you have to give it throttle. That's when you give it gas. Okay, and that is literally the engagement point. That is what the engagement point really is. Okay, so I'm going to put my camera out here. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take my foot off the brake. I'm going to go into first gear, release the parking brake. I'm going to put my foot on the clutch, go into first gear, and I'm going to release it to the engagement point, and I'm going to hold it there and I'm just going to let the car roll. And I'm just going to give you guys an outside view to see what it looks like. Where's this car going? Hold on. Let this car pass. Okay, so now this is an outside view, okay? And then I'm going to show it to you like maybe once or twice, and I'll show you again. I'll show you the same thing again, and then I'll show you guys what my feet are doing. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to push the clutch all the way down. I'm going to pull the parking brake down. I'm going to put it in first gear. And I'm just going to release the clutch to the engagement point until it starts to roll. And as you can see, guys, we are slowly rolling. Okay, and I'm going to stop it right there. All right, so I'm going to show you guys another outside view. Okay, we're sitting idle. I'm in first gear. My foot comes off the brake. My left foot is now gonna come off the clutch really slow. And as you can see, we are rolling a little bit. Okay? That's the engagement point. Now, the clutch, hold on, let me just turn on the AC here. How do you turn on the AC? Because it's really hot. Okay. Whew. Sorry guys, it's really hot in here. All right. Yeah, so don't spend like a couple of hours just finding that engagement point. So just let off the engagement point, let off the clutch to the engagement point. Okay, no gas. Okay, and then stop. And then do it again. Okay? And stop. And repeat the process. Okay? Keep doing that, guys, until you guys get the hang of it. Okay? The next thing you guys want to learn is, now I'm going to show you guys the same thing. Alright? But I'm going to show you guys what my feet are doing. Okay? So, as you can see, my foot is down on the clutch. I am in first gear. Okay? So, all I'm going to do, hold on. All I'm going to do is just release the clutch slowly to the engagement point. And I'm rolling. Okay, and if I want to stop, I just push in the clutch and I brake. And that is literally how it's done. Okay? So just keep practicing that. Spend hours practicing that. Okay? Because that is the most crucial part that you guys need. So now I'm going to show you guys the same thing, except I'm going to show you guys the technique that I learned from my driving instructor, and this time we're going to add throttle to it. Okay? So let me just push up a little bit here. Let me just push up a little bit here. Okay. Now, so now you want to add throttle to it, and I'm going to show you guys this technique. Okay? So let me just, okay, so let me just take it off the, okay, so I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to show you guys how it's done. Okay? Now, to get rolling using the same method, I'm going to show you guys, this is how it's going to be. Okay? You're going to push the clutch in. Step 1, you're going to push the clutch in. Step 2, you're going to put it in first gear. Make sure your parking brake is down. Keep your foot on the brake. Okay, so you're going to step the clutch in, and you're going to also step on the brake. Okay? The next step is to get to that engagement point. Okay? You're going to release your foot from the clutch slowly till you get to the engagement point, and when you do, you're going to hold it there. You're going to hold it there, and then your right foot comes off the brake. So you're going to give it throttle, and you're going to release the clutch the rest of the way. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will get your car rolling. So for those of you that, because that didn't click, if that didn't click, I'm going to explain it again. Okay? You're going to go in, you're going to clutch in, you're going to go into first gear, you're going to step on the brake as well. You're going to release the clutch to the engagement point, and you will know it's there when your foot starts to vibrate. Okay? You will hold it, the engagement point, steady. You will then take your foot off the brake, put it on the gas, and then you're going to release the clutch slowly the rest of the way, and you're going to start rolling in first gear. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys what my feet are going to do. All right, so I'm going to put the camera down here. Okay, so I'm going to clutch in. I'm going to put my step on the brake as well. I'm going to put the parking brake down. I'm going to then put it in first gear. Okay? And then I'm going to slowly take my foot with my right foot still on the brake. I'm going to take my left foot, slowly get to the